Hello, another day, another easy beanie tutorial. I will show you how to make this lovely texture beanie without the brim. It can be easily adjusted to any size. Are you ready? Okay, so let's get started. For this project, I'm gonna use medium-sized worsted acrylic yarn. Any similar size to that is perfect for this project. We're gonna use less than 100 grams for adult size beanie. Use woolen yarns for extra warmth. Of course, we're gonna use 5mm hook according to the yarn, a darning needle to within the ends, and some pair of scissors. Here you can see the table with the measurements for all head sizes. The most important here will be the head height. It will be the same as our foundation chain. Just add roughly a half of centimeter more because it will shrink slightly. Foundation chain. As usual, we are starting the project by making a slip knot. So just wrap the yarn around your fingers and pull a loop like that. So I am working on adult female size. So I need my foundation chain to be roughly around 22 centimeters. So I am starting with the chain of 35. For the chain, we are yarning over and pulling a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. So you might have different foundation chain number. So just adjust to your size and stick to your number of stitches. So yarn over and pull a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. So here we have our foundation chain ready. This is how it should be looking, something similar. And now we still need to make a chain of 1, and this will be as our turning chain. And now we are ready to work on row number 1. So the first stitch is slip stitch. So insert the hook into the second stitch from the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops like that. So this is the first stitch done. The next one is half double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. The next one is slip stitch again. So insert the hook, grab the yarn and pull through all loops. 4th stitch is half double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the loop, yarn over, pull a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So this is what we have so far. Basically, this is a repeat of slip stitch and a half double crochet. So just do 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet. Repeat like this, and we will meet at the end of the row. We finish row number 1 a bit different. We have 5 stitches left, and those 5 stitches will be 5 slip stitches. So just insert the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. Insert, pull a loop and pull through all. These last stitches of slip stitches will create a very nice crown for our beanie. So we finally finished row number 1. This is what we have so far. And we need to chain 1 and turn the project. We will begin working on the second row. So again, we are working into the second stitch from the hook. And now we begin with 5 slip stitches, but in the back loop only. So we are going just through the one loop of the stitch and making a slip stitch. Just insert the hook through back loop and make a slip stitch. And repeat this total of 5 times. After finishing the first 5 stitches with slip stitches, we will work on our regular pattern. So the next stitch is half double crochet in the back loop only. So we prepare for half double crochet, insert into back loop, and finish off like usual. The next one is again slip stitch, insert the hook, grab the yarn and pull through all loops. Next, half double crochet, but in the back loop only. And repeat like this: 1 slip stitch in the back loop only, 1 half double crochet in the back loop only, and so on. I will see you at the end of the row. We reached the end of the second row, so we still need to make 1 more half double crochet. So let's yarn over, insert, grab the yarn, and pull through 3 loops like that. And the last stitch, we are, instead of a slip stitch, doing single crochet, and instead of back loop, we are going through both loops. And the reason of doing this is to create a very nice and smooth edge. So let's do 1 single crochet, and now we're gonna chain 1, turn the project, and begin working on the row number 3. So row number 3 is the same as row number 1. So we are starting with a slip stitch. We are doing it in the back loop, of course. Then the next one is half double crochet in the back loop, and again 1 slip stitch, and just repeat the pattern like this: 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, until you are left with 5 stitches. To finish the third row, we need to do the last 5 slip stitches in the back loops only. So just insert the hook, grab the yarn, and pull through all loops. Insert, grab the yarn, and pull through all loops. Let's chain 1 and turn the project. From here, we are repeating. So row 4 is the same as row 2. So we are starting with 5 slip stitches in the back loops only. After that, continue with the pattern: half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch. One more time to finish off row number 4 or row number 2. We are doing one more half double crochet in the back loop, and the last stitch is single crochet. Instead of slip stitch, we are doing single crochet, and we are doing single crochet through both loops to create a smooth edge around our forehead. After this, we are continuing on repeating rows 2 and 3 until we reach the needed head circumference. This is how the project should be looking after a few rows, so we immediately can see a very nice texture. After crocheting the rows, we are already in the connecting phase. So all in all, I did 58 rows for an adult female size. So you might have a different number of rows because you might need a different width of your beanie. When I fold it in half, I have 22 centimeters in width. So for the connection, we are folding the beanie in half the same way I did it. And now we are finding the first stitch of the foundation chain and putting the hook through it and grabbing the last stitch like this. So we will be connecting it with a slip stitch. So we are taking one stitch from the foundation chain, just insert into the next chain of foundation chain, just making sure that I can see the stitches. Insert the hook there. Now I am picking the last row's stitch only for the back loop and making a slip stitch through all stitches, just like this. So now I am inserting into the next stitch of foundation chain and into the next stitch of the last row through the back loop only, and finishing with the slip stitch. One more time in the next stitch of foundation chain and into the next of the last row through the back loop and finishing off with a slip stitch. So just continue like this, connecting each stitch with the opposite side each stitch, making sure it's not too tight, the slip stitch is not too tight, and keep going until you finish all the way. After you finish connecting the side, we still need to close the crown, the top of the head. So we're gonna chain one and leave a pretty long tail that we could use for closing the top side. And just cut off the yarn. And now just pull out of the loop. And make sure it's tight as a knot. And by the way, this is how the side is looking at the moment. So this is gonna be the wrong side of the beanie. So now we're gonna turn it inside out. And here we go. The seam is basically invisible as we are using this joining method. To close the top, we're gonna use a darning needle. So just grab the end of the tail we just left and thread it through the needle. We're gonna use a very simple method to join the top. So just with the needle, we're gonna go through the stitches. So through the stitch like this. So basically every second stitch we are picking up with the needle. So we're gonna go through one side, through the front to the back, from the back to the front, from the front to the back. So making these like zigzags to grab basically every second stitch and thread with the yarn. And keep going. So picking from the back to front, from front to back, and wiggling it through the stitches to catch the stitches we need to connect. So continue like this until you go all the way around. After you've threaded all the stitches around, we're gonna pull the yarn tail very hard to close the top. So make sure the hole which is leaving there is as small as possible. So make sure the hole is as closed as possible. Keep the tension in there. And to finish off that, we're gonna go through a few stitches, just back and forth with the needle. So from one side to another, and we're gonna sew it together. So like that. I'm gonna go from top to one side, just through the front stitches, and thread it like this, and pull it tightly. One more time from different side to opposite direction, and pull it tight to close. So go like this a few times until you see that the hole is no more visible. At the moment when you are ready to finish, you need to go with the needle through the inside to the back side of the beanie, and there just make a few knots to secure that it won't unravel. And the very last step of the project, we need to weave in all the leftover yarn ends. So just go with the needle through a couple of stitches, make a few knots, and then cut off the yarn. After weaving the ends, just turn the beanie to the good side again, and that's it. Your beanie is ready to wear. So the crown is looking like this, and the lovely texture is waiting to be worn out. If you reached this far, please press like, press subscribe, write a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao!